Alright, hey you guys, what's up? Tommy here from Saleslucky.com, and today we're going to be talking about closing, alright? This is probably the part of the sales process where it's most hyped up about, it's most talked about, where they play it a lot in movies of like the hard closing salesperson, the forceful salesperson that's gregarious, outspoken, um, just super aggressive and loud, high pressure salesperson that's presented in a lot of Hollywood movies, whether it's like The Boiler Room or Glengarry Glen Ross. All you hear things like always be closing, and I think there's this overall stereotype of like that pushy, hard driving, um, aggressive, doesn't care about the customer, just wants to get the sale type of salesperson. So the purpose of me making this video and this article is to debunk that myth. Great salespeople are not pushy, are not high pressure. Oftentimes they're not gregarious and super outspoken. In fact, it's the opposite a lot of times. Um, Top salespeople tend to listen more than they speak. Not tend to, pretty much necessity. Top salespeople they ask more questions as well, rather than them doing the speaking. They're certainly not pushy because I'm sure, as you know, and as you guys are as well, you wouldn't want to deal with a pushy salesperson. Didn't matter if it was for buying tires or you're buying a multi-million-dollar SaaS product. People don't want to deal with pushy people. So I think there's this myth out there of that outspoken, pushy salesperson, and I know that certainly for me growing up, I thought that on some level I thought that was true, but it's just not. It's just really not. Um, if you guys are out there that are asking yourselves if you can be great at sales, if you're not super outspoken, or if you're not super aggressive, yeah, the answer is absolutely you can. You 100% can be successful at sales as long as you're willing to work hard at it, okay? And along the same lines, it's not about closing, guys. To close more deals, it's not about actually closing. The secret to closing more deals is actually being able to do the work right up front. So what I mean by that is if you've done a good job at extracting problems from your prospects, asking them great questions on how those problems would expand and affect other areas of their business or their lives if they don't make that change, and asking them questions to get them to see how their life would be different and get them to emotionally associate the benefits of your product and how their life would be different if they did decide to change. If you do those three things well as if you build a strong trust with your prospect, you're going to close more deals. It's not about closing, okay? It's about doing the work up front, which is developing needs, identifying problems, expanding that pain, and then getting them to align their vision and what they want most with your product or service. If we're able to do that well, you're going to get sales all day. That's where the sale is made. There seems to be this emphasis in movies of how it's all about closing the deal. You hear that on a lot of sales floors, always be closing, but it's not about closing. It's about developing the needs and the pain up front. If you do that, you are going to close more deals, 100%. And if you do that right, you don't even need to have any closes. It's just a natural step in the sales process. It's very much like dating, okay, guys? You start by getting the girl's number, you ask her out on a date, you take her out to dinner, and then you repeat that until the relationship gets to a point where you ask her to be your girlfriend or you ask her for marriage or something like that. But it's a natural progression of steps, step by step by step. It's the same thing in a sales process. Every action leads to the next action, which, if done right, logically in sequence, by the time you get to closing the deal, closing the sale, it's just the next natural step in the process. There's no friction. Your customer is expecting it. And in fact, they're being taken through a great experience, a buying experience. So there should not be a heavy emphasis on closing, but more of an emphasis on developing needs, building pain, building trust, building value up front in the sales process, and the closing the deal part will take care of itself, okay? In summary, closing the sale is really less than 10% of the actual sales process, sometimes much less than that, and the work is primarily done up front to build value and develop pain. All right, guys, I'll keep you guys posted with new content. Please like, comment. Would love to hear your thoughts. If you guys have any requests for special areas you'd like to learn about sales, I'd be happy